American Dad is back, and a lot of familiar faces return. Franny's sister Gwen shows up, and she's pregnant, Steve reconnects with his old flame Debbie, and even Ricky Spanish comes back.
Ricky Spanish.
Shut up!
And in a wild twist reveal, one of Roger's personas turns out to be none other than Ned Flanders. And he lets slip where Springfield really is.
He lives in another state that I can't say for some reason. It's Michigan. There, I said it.
Now, after the show was axed by TBS and picked up by Fox, some fans were worried about American Dad's quality dipping.
Could be a disaster. Yeah.
So does it? Let's break down this season premiere and find out. Oh yeah, and I'm finally upgrading my room background setup, so help me out by commenting on which American Dad or Family Guy memorabilia that I should have on display. So, the episode opens with Francine announcing that she's meeting up with her estranged little sister Gwen for coffee. The last time we properly saw her adopted sister was way back in season 10's Now and Gwen, and in it we find out that when they were younger, Gwen took the fall for Francine after she accidentally burned down their school, thus leading Gwen into a spiral of petty crime and prison time. And as a result, Francine always carried the guilt over derailing her sister's life and so constantly bailed her out. But when Hayley put her foot down and said that her mum won't help with any more dodgy schemes, Gwen tried to burn down the school and frame Francine. And even though Hayley did help them reconcile, a lit cigarette caused the school to catch fire anyway, landing Franny with only a suspended sentence, whereas Gwen got prison time.
Let's not get bogged down in who violated their parole and whose husband called in a favor with a local judge.
And when I get out of here, I'm coming for you, sis. I will have my revenge.
Gwen quickly became a fan favourite, and that's not just because she's super hot.
Can't wait to see my sexy aunt, who I'm not related to by blood.
Fans have been patiently waiting for her to finally return and enact her revenge, and it only took a decade, but it seems her pregnancy has calmed her down a bit, and Francine, desperate to not mess up their relationship, invites her to a pool party. Meanwhile, at the CIA, Bullock is choosing between Stan and Dick to decide which gun the agency will use for the next 10 years, and as a hardcore gun nut, Stan desperately wants the honour.
I'm also a nut. Brazelnuts, pecans, or pecans, if you say it that way.
So to get on his boss's good side, he invites everyone over for a pool party.
Or, as they say in England, a bath splash.
And that's right, we do call it a bath splash here. And yes, I am English, and not Australian like some commenters seem to think I am. Although I would like some Australian weather over here. God, that was awful. At school, Steve finds out that his old flame Debbie broke up with the math teacher and so is single again. It seems his lack of pull really turned her off, which is great news for Steve because luckily, he's got one. Debbie being 14 and dating a teacher is super creepy, but I shouldn't be too surprised because this is Pearl Bailey High School and this is their principal.
Girls, not women, girls. Little bitty things.
Brian!
Now, I went into Steve and Debbie's turbulent relationship in his Love Life video, and out of the many girls that he's dated, seriously, this kid has got around, this goth girl was 100% a fan favourite. And the last time we saw her and Steve together was in season 4's Bar Mitzvah Hustle back in 2009. And that's 17 years ago. And since then, Reddit has been full of posts asking about her return. But personally, I was never really the biggest Debbie fan. She treated Steve like trash and thought she was far too good for him, and so she dated that jerk Adon. I'm more of a Steve and Akiko shipper myself. But anyway, the Smiths throw together a pool party and everything seems perfect.
Taco guy going, drinks on ice, rat in the pool!
With the pool most likely infected, Franny wants to cancel the party, but Stan and Steve can't let that happen, so Stan fishes it out right as the CIA crew arrive. Bullock spots the rat, but Stan covers by saying it's a balloon. As they scramble to stop people getting into the contaminated pool, we then cut to Roger, who is tearing his room apart looking for one of his persona's missing mustaches. And it's here where Roger casually reveals that one of his personas is none other than Ned Flanders.
Hi diddly-ho, neighbor.
Get lost, Flanders.
Okily-dokily.
Then he drops a bombshell and reveals the location of Springfield.
It's Michigan. There, I said it.
Now, over on my Simpsons channel called The Simpsons Theory, I made a video entitled The Real Location of Springfield Revealed, and I gave a few possible theories, and Michigan definitely wasn't one of them, but its neighbour Illinois was. And Oregon was also a possibility. It also theorised it might be its own fictional state, but the real answer is that Springfield does not have one fixed location. It may have been influenced by places like Oregon, but it can't possibly be set there. Basically, it moves wherever the writers need it to be for the joke.
Dad, you're not pointing anywhere near Springfield. It's over here, Apu. Hey, what you doing?
I mean, come on, there are over 90 Springfields in America, and that's the point. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, so let's get back to the whole pool debacle. So as the CIA guys get to know each other, Debbie arrives. She's excited to jump in the pool, but Steve distracts her with the preschool sand table.
And don't forget about this cool-ass boat.
I love this gag where Bullock removes his speedos to reveal his trunks underneath. And just when punching him fails to deter him, Francine pulls out a gun just as Gwen arrives. Not wanting her pregnant sister to swim around in rat water, Francine distracts her by pulling on an ant head. And what Freddy says here got a huge laugh out of me.
I call it Peanut. It? Do you think it's not human?
And with his mum distracted, Steve and Debbie jump in, which leads to everyone else joining in, much to Franny's horror. And Bullock spitting out rat water into other people's mouths was so disgusting, but also very hilarious. And so was the visual of rat bacteria literally eating someone from the inside.
Brains!
Imagining everyone dying, Francine then does the only thing that she can think to do to clear the pool. She jumps in and drops a floater.
There's a poop in the pool!
Bullock's reaction here absolutely killed me.
Well, I have a theory. It came out of someone's butt.
Seriously, he may be one of my favourite characters in the show. Patrick Stewart delivers every unhinged line perfectly. Picturing the distinguished Jean-Luc Picard saying these lines is so funny.
Incontinent twit. I hate you!
And speaking of Star Trek, who else is a Trekkie here? My favourite's gotta be Voyager. But enough geek talk, and Bullock locks the party down to find the party pooper, and fingers start getting pointed at everyone.
Debbie? She hasn't pooped a day in her life!
Bullock starts interrogating the guests, which leads to some really great moments.
How important is toilet paper to you?
And after this, Bullock reveals that Francine is the stinky culprit. But Steve takes the fall to protect his mum and make sure that Gwen does not lose trust in her again. With that out of the way, Stan recommends his choice of gun, and I laughed so hard when everyone just casually walked into the house firing their guns. The episode ends with Jeff in the ant mask being carried away by the ants. We then find out that Queen Jeff led several successful picnic raids, but will most likely be remembered for killing his colony while thrashing around during a bad dream. And as for Roger's missing mustache, it turns out that Rogu was hiding it.
He was gonna show everyone his dirt locker. He would have ruined the party.
I was laughing constantly throughout this episode, far more than I have at any recent Family Guy episode. Now I can't play a lot of the jokes due to copyright BS, but it was like a laugh a minute. There were really no weak moments here at all, and I loved seeing Gwen and Debbie return, and I hope that we get to see more of them going forward in this season. Now, this is hands down a 5 out of 5 episode, and one that I would really recommend you watching. But what did you think if you've already watched it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to write down any item that you think would suit my background right here.